Aho de Chimanaru, particular Bandika, Gigu them, Ojibwe and Stave and down. Get the gunning in June Chuba. Aho, Mother Key, we're going to ask you to help us as we process this Manoomin and teach these people. So as we count on you to receive this pole, this stake, and these pits on each side that we're going to be doing. Please help us and be good and generous and whatever. Aho. Good.
Do we know how side to take out? Here?
Yep. So what we're going to be doing is this is going to be a jigging pit, and this is going to help us separate that grain from the chaff. And that was what I was talking about when I was having you, roll that between your fingers.
This one?
And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a stake in. And actually what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting 2 poles out on each side because we're going to have 2 pits. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually dig a hole in here. And it should be like 6 to 8 inches deep. And what we want to make it is like the shape of like a cereal bowl. And it actually has to be that, as smooth. So what we're going to do after we get the hole, we're going to actually make sure that there's no roots, no grass, no whatever on the inside. Even though we have a tarp here that kind of smooths it out. Because if you have any debris in your hole, as that rice and you're rolling it between and you're dancing on it, it'll break that rice. And our goal is to keep that grain just like you did when you rolled it between your fingers.
Little finger.
How are you doing? Okay, so I was just doing things. What I was doing there is, because this pit is for me to use, it fits my feet. And it fits my feet all the way around. When I jig the rice, I don't go in a circle like that, but that's how I stamp it down, and I make sure I fit on all sides. The other thing I'm trying to do is get a nice flat wall here with no roots in it, which we'll have to get this one. To get that one out. Because like he said, any roots or anything are gonna, when I dance on it, it'll break the rice. But if I have a flat side and a nice flat or semi-rounded bottom, that's what I'm looking for. And I really like a nice flat packed down bottom because it gives me a smooth surface to dance in. So when I'm jigging, I don't want to put my whole body weight onto the rice. Because, me or Roger, all of us can dance the rice. We all have different weights. Different weights can break the rice. So what we do is we have whoever's going to dance stand in the pit, and the other people tie up posts. Those posts should be about there. wants to be not at your resting arm length, just a little bit above it, so that when you dance, you do a little bit of this. Keep some of your weight off. So right now you can see my arms at a bend, and I'm standing flat in the pit. Once I get 2 of these up, I'm gonna take my weight off the rice.
Here?
What we do is we take it out and we put it back when we're done. So you can see that we mounded what we took out, we mounded up here. It stabilizes our post. That gives me more strength as I'm dancing to know that that pole's not going to fall over mid-dance, right? It's stabilizing the pole. And then when we're done, we just flip it, put it right back in like we weren't here. Try to leave things as we found them, not causing any damage to the earth. And when I'm down there and I'm doing, when I dance, and oh, hello, excuse me, 1 second. Yeah, so and then that's gonna go there. Yeah. When I'm dancing and I go down and I pat the ground, and before we dig that hole, normally I'll put down tobacco before I do that. But when I'm down there, I'm saying a prayer, and I'm asking for help, and I'm saying, you know, those who are in that ground right there, is it okay that I do this? We asked earlier for the ground, but when I'm down there, then I'm like, okay, I'm here. You know, anyone who's living in this space, move out. I'll put it back when I'm done, because they said it was okay to be here. I'm not like, get out of here, I got stuff to do. That's not respectful. All right? I'm asking, can I put this hole here? Can I make this space? And they say, okay. And so we make it here. And I think Roger did that for this space instead of somewhere else in the camp already. But then when I get in there, I do the same. I do that prayer. Because again, everything we do with the rice is done in a good heart way. It's done with all your good intention, all the love that you have. Because all the way through, the rice takes care of us. So all the way through, we take care of the rice. And then when we feed our community with it, the rice takes care of us again. There has to be exchange of love throughout the whole thing, the whole time. So that positive energy and those prayers whenever you're doing anything. From getting the trees for the post to putting the rice in the hole or even making the hole. When we go to dance it, we need ricing moccasins or muckbutts. And a good hide to make it out of is moose because it's so thick. Mine are deer and they're worn and old, but they still work. These mocks don't touch the earth. They only touch the tarp where the rice goes. And they don't get used for anything else. They're only for the rice. These are our food processing here, right? So they've never gone anywhere else. They've got a long panel that goes up the ankles. That rice is really itchy. You don't want it inside your mouth. Start stabbing, they get back up. You don't want to have socks on. They'll stick right in those babies. It's really hard to get them out. But that's how the rice seeds itself, so that's why it does that. So it's just trying to do what it does. But you want to have your foot covered all the way up your ankle. That way you're not getting itchy in the process. So, okay. So I'm not going to put all of this in at one time. Maybe if I had bigger feet, I would. Sorry about that. Yeah, maybe if I had a bigger pit or a bigger feet, I might do more. But again, baby paddle, baby feet. It's just who I am. So I'm going to put in less. Most everything that I do from there to here is always 2 handfuls for me. That's what I do. But as you do things, you get who you are, what your feel is, and then you go with that. Don't try to be what other people are. Doesn't work out. The rice never gets out right. You know, be who you are. Can I? I'm ready.
Go ahead.
So, oh, well, before I get in there, what I'm trying to do when I'm in there is I have my feet like this. Then I'm going to grab and swoosh and change. And eventually I get that whole half back and forth. I'm swooping it. And again, I'm standing here, but I'm standing gently. I'm not breaking a whole lot right now, but I'm breaking some. I can feel it. So I'm going to lift myself up. It's not a whole lot. It's not like I'm trying to dangle here. I'm just trying to be above it a little bit.
Now you're doing it. It's like riding a bike.
So for you older folks, what does that look like?
The twist. Or the rumba.
Yeah, the only difference between the twist and the jig, the Manoomin jig, is you only put your weight on one foot at a time. It doesn't look like that, but she's actually shifting her weight from her right to her left foot.
Okay, so
Let that deeper.
I don't know how many of you can see this, but you can see in here I've got some broken ones because every time I do my first example I stand on it.
Right.
Just to show you guys the difference. So the first batch always has more broken, but it's just because I stood there to teach you. But
There it is.
there are grains, they've come right out of the chaff now. They're full, they're not broken, and they're out of the chaff. And all that chaff is just kind of a powder around the outside. So the dancing or jigging of the rice is to get it out of the chaff. To like he said, the rolling of your fingers, you know, that's an empty one. Every time I'm trying to show people stuff. Okay, so if I roll this between my fingers enough, it comes out. I can pull it out, right? That's exactly what I did there, but instead of doing one at a time, which would be exhausting, I did a bunch.